learners. Now I want to introduce a new chapter, which is stock turnover, and the purpose of determining the turnover of store's item is to select stock which do not move regularly and also to avoid keeping capital locked up in items which are infrequently used or not used at all. The turnover should be based on a monthly calculation and is often expressed in terms of the ratio or proportion of the cost of material used during the period to average stock held during a period. Now, when we are doing stock turnover, as we have heard, we are doing stock turnover to establish the stock which is not moving frequently. So, there are formulas that we use when calculating the stock turnover, and we start by calculating the average stock. The average stock, when we are calculating average stock, is equals maximum stock plus minimum stock, you divide by 2. Or you can use the other method, which is operating or opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2. That is how you calculate average stock. Now, when we are calculating rate of stock turnover, it will be cost of items consumed divided by average stock of the material. Now, that's how we calculate the rate of stock turnover. Cost of items consumed divided by average stock of material. Now, we have an example so that you can understand more. So, the example is that the items in the stores shows the result of opening stock on 11 January 2007 was 80,000 shillings. Purchases between on date 1 January 2007 to 31st January to 31st December 2007 was cash 600,000. Closing stock on 31st January 2007, cash was 100,000. Now you are told to calculate the rate of stock turnover. Now, using the formula that we had said, rate of stock turnover, that we said we start first calculating the average stock. That's what we'll do. So, cost of item consumed, we start with the average stock. Average stock will be opening stock plus purchases between minus closing stock. So, the opening stock we are given as 80,000 plus the purchase between that was purchased, it was 600,000. Minus the closing stock. The closing stock was 100,000. So, in total you get 80,000 shillings. Now, that is the average stock turnover. The cost of items consumed. Now, we go to average stock. Average stock is equals opening stock plus closing stock. So, the opening stock was 80,000 plus 100,000. You get 180,000 divided by 2, where you get 9,000. Now, stock turnover will be cost of items consumed divided by average stock. So, it will be the cost of items consumed. It is here where we said cost of item consumed will be opening stock plus purchases between minus closing stock. So, after calculating, we have gotten 580,000 shillings. So, we divide by the average stock. The average stock is 90,000. So, when you divide, it will be 6.4 times. So, that is the rate of stock turnover. So, this means that the total value of turnover is 6.44 in the trading period. The rate of stock turnover will vary with different types of establishment. It is not fixed. We will find that some different establishments have their own rate of turnover depending on how many customers they are serving. We have example 2 I've given you, so you will practice with that example 2. Now, stock taking of food. Objectives: to determine the value of goods held in stock. Number 2, to compare the value of goods in the stores at a particular time in book value of the stock, which can be calculated as follows. So, the value of closing stock will be value of opening stock plus purchases during the period minus requisition made in the same period. Number 3 objective is to list slow-moving items, the items that are not frequently asked for. Number 4, to compare the usage with sales to access food percentage. Number 5 is a different against loss and beverage. Number 6, to determine the rate of stock turnover for different groups of food. Number NP, stock taking list should be printed in a format related to the layout of the storeroom. This ensures that items held in stock are checked and nothing is missed. Now those are objectives of food, stock taking of food. Now we look at the stock taking of beverage. Objectives are, and we said objectives are the same as goals, are the same as reason, are the same as aims why you are doing certain thing. Now objective of food beverage are 1, to determine the total value of all beverages held in stock. Number 2, to compare the actual value of beverages held in the cellar at a specific time with the book value of the stock. Number 3, to identify slow-moving items. Number 4, to compare beverage usage at cost with beverage sales in order to calculate beverage gross profit. Number 5, to deter beverage and check security and control system. Number 6, to determine the rate of stock turnover. NB, stock taking should be done by staff from control or accounts department together with a member of food and beverage management team. It should be done at the end of every trading period. Now there is stock control. Stock includes goods of various kinds. For example, we have the raw materials, we have the finished goods, we have the equipment, we have the components, we have the office stationery, and also we have goods purchased for resale. Now, stock of goods represent money and it must be controlled effectively. Stock control means making sure that the business has the right quantity of goods in the right place and at the right time. Stock level must neither be too low or too high. It must be maintained as a reasonable level. Objectives of stock control. Why do we need to do stock control? 1, to ensure availability of goods when required. Number 2, to account for the goods which have been purchased. Number 3, to reduce storage costs as much as possible. Number 4, to minimize the risk of deterioration, wastage, and theft. Number 5, to maintain accurate records. Number 6, to avoid overstocking and understocking. Now we have the stock levels. Stock levels should be kept at low level that is beneficial to an organization. It should not be high because it will increase storage costs and greater risk of deterioration and thus reduction in profits. On the other hand, if it is too low, then it will not meet the demands of the production. Now, this question is mostly asked in the next exam to explain factors that affect stock levels in any organization. Now, factors that affect stock levels are, number 1, availability. Are they readily available in the market or they are not available? So it is, if a particular item is easily available throughout a year, the stock level should be low and vice versa. We also sometimes you're asked to explain what is a lead time. You are taught to explain the lead time. Lead time, this is the period between the date of order and date of delivery. If lead time is more than stock, must be maintained at a higher level and vice versa. Number 3, stock holding cost. This means the cost of keeping the material into stores. If stock held costing is high, then the stock level must be low and vice versa. We also have consumption. If an item of material is consumed in a greater quantity, then it must be maintained at a higher level and vice versa. We also have the trade discounts. Sometimes supplier offer a higher discount if the benefit of trade discount is greater than stock level, must be maintained at a higher level. The last one is the durability. The stock level of durable goods should be kept higher and perishable low. Why? Because perishable, they don't stay for long. They go bad easily. So that's why we are saying the rate of durable items should be kept high, while for perishable should be kept low. Setting stock levels. How do you set the stock levels? Enterprises set stock levels under the following. We have the first one, which is maximum stock level. This is the level beyond which stock should not be allowed to rise. It should be low as possible. Number B, we have minimum stock level. This is the level below which stocks should not be allowed to follow. If stock falls below this level, then there is a possibility of production stoppages. This level is also called buffer stock. We also have the reorder level. This is the point at which purchase order must be sent to the supplier for the supply of more material. This level is higher than minimum stock level but lower than the maximum stock level. We have another one, which is the reorder quantity. This is the quantity for which a purchase order is placed. This quantity depends on factors discussed above. And the last one is the average stock level. This is average of maximum and minimum stock levels. In our next class, we'll look at the formulas of stock levels.